Today I'm going to show you how to make this cute little deer. We're going to start with the body because it's the most complicated and the biggest piece. So you make your slip knot, put it on the anchor peg, and then for the drawstring cast on, we're going to go behind the first peg, in front of the second peg, behind the third peg, and so on all the way around. And we're going to go behind the first peg again, so there's nothing on that first peg, in front of the second peg, and you see there's another loop there. So we're going to knit that off, lay it across the third peg, knit over on the fourth peg, and so on like that. So you're knitting over every time there's two loops. For row 1, when you get back to the first peg, there's nothing on it, so we're just going to take the yarn and lay it across, and then knit over on peg 2. So now we're going to do 2 rows of just U-wrap knit. So you half wrap the peg, knit over, half wrap the peg, knit over, and we're going to do that all the way around for 2 rows. When you get your 2 rows done, we're going to tie on the belly color. So I'm going to use white. So you make your slip knot, put it on peg 1, tighten it, make sure you don't cut the body color, tie these together in a knot, nice and tight. And then undo that slip knot. Now you're going to use the belly color to knit the next 8 pegs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then go back, take your body color, and knit pegs 24 up to 9. Till you meet up with that second color. Now, take your second color, bring it underneath the first color and around so that it's going back in the opposite direction. Knit over one of each of those pegs just to secure them. And then you're going to go back from peg 8 to peg 1 with that second color. And then take your first color, whoops, and knit up to peg 24. When you get up here, they're naturally going to want to go where you want them to go, so just tighten them. And you're going to continue like that for, let's see, 30 rows. When you get up to row 30, come back and I'll show you how to finish it. Make sure that you're always doing it the same way. So you're going to take your second color and wrap it over the first color. It's going to go under and over. And when you get to the other side, it's going to go under and over, and that will help not get them all twisted up. Okay, once you've made it to row 30, you should be back here in the front at peg 1. So we're going to cut the body color and tie that off. Make sure it doesn't go anywhere. And then we're going to do one row in just the belly color. And we're going to do the drawstring cast off, so wrap your loom once, cut the yarn, and then you're going to half wrap your peg, knit over, and pull through. Half wrap your peg, knit over, and pull through. We're going to do that all the way around. Okay, once you're done with your cast off, we're going to stretch the stitches. And then you're going to pull the cast on tail make sure that's nice and tight. Thread your needle. We're going to send it through to the other side. Turn this inside out. And then make a knot. So you're going to sew through once, and then again, but on the second time, make sure that you keep a loop there. Whatever side your working yarn is on, make sure that you go to the opposite side of the loop. So I'm going to go in here, do that twice, and then just pull tight. And that should be secure. You don't have to cut the tail because it's just going to be on the inside. It's just extra stuffing. And now we just have to stuff it. So should be enough. Pull it tight. And same thing. Pull it through once, make sure that it's still tight. Send it through again, keep a loop, go to the opposite side, go through twice, and pull it tight. Then you can take this and send it through. Cut the yarn, and now the tail is hidden inside. This is going to be your front, right here, and this is going to be where we put the tail. So we'll set that aside for now. And next, we're going to work on the head. So you take your body color, we're going to do another drawstring cast on. So you go behind the first peg, in front of the second peg, just like that. And we're going to just U-wrap knit for 22 rows. So again, you go behind the first peg, so there's nothing on the first peg. Lay it across the second peg. There's a loop here, so we're going to knit off. Lay it across the third peg, there's nothing there. Across the fourth peg, there's a loop there, so we're going to knit off. And we're going to do that all the way around. And when you get to row 1, there's nothing on the first peg, so you're just going to lay it across and knit over on the second peg. So this entire thing is going to be done in U-wrap knit. So you half wrap your peg and knit off, half wrap your peg, knit off, and we're going to just do that for 22 rows. Okay, once you got your 22 rows done, push your stitches down to about halfway, and you're going to wrap your loom twice to leave a long tail, because we're going to use this tail to sew the head to the body. Now you're going to half wrap your peg, knit over, and pull through. Half wrap your peg, knit over, pull through, all the way around. Okay, once you've got it free of the loom, you're going to stretch your stitches. And then find the cast on tail. We're going to tighten that one first. Turn inside out. Make your knot. Oops. It's fine, it'll just be extra secure. Now, before we stuff, we're going to put some eyes on this guy. Or maybe the best thing to do would be to stuff him first. just to get the placement right. Okay. I'm gonna go with 10 millimeters. Okay, that looks centered. We're not going to put the nose on because we're going to make a little snoot for him. And that's where the nose is going to go. Oh, these are too small. Oh, jeez. There we go. Now we can stuff them. For real this time. And again, you can just leave the cast on tail inside. There's no reason to cut it. Let's get a little more. Now you leave that there, because we're going to use this to sew it on. So we can lay that aside. Next, we're going to start with the legs. So you're going to start with the hoof color. This is an 8-peg loom. I made it from the Love Knitting loom set. I got 2 4-pieces stuck together. You can also do 4 2-pieces stuck together. I just got it at Walmart, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. We're going to start with the hoof color. So you make your slip knot, put it on the anchor peg, and we're going to drawstring cast on all 8 pegs. And then knit with your hoof color for 3 rows. Okay, once you've got your 3 rows done, you're going to cut that color and then bring in the regular body color. Again, you're going to make a slip knot, adjust it to the next peg. In this case, it's peg 1. and tie these two tails together. Take off that slip knot, be sure not to lose your loop, and pull the slip knot out while holding those two tails. Now you're just going to go and start knitting with this new color. And you're going to do that for 15 rows. Okay, once you've got your 15 rows done, you're going to wrap the loom about 2.5 times to leave an extra long tail. And then we're going to do the drawstring cast off. Now, stuff those tails inside. We're going to pull the cast on tail, turn this inside out, after it's been threaded. Turn this inside out. Gonna make sure that's nice and tight and that there isn't a hole. But if there is, because this is kind of small, it's a bit hard to pull the drawstring, you can just sew it up. So I've got a little hole here that you can't even see. But I'm gonna sew it up anyway. And that's where I'm going to put my knot. Now, we're going to make sure that this is all nice and stretched. And you can see that this is flared out a bit. We're going to stick a finger in here and pull the drawstring. And now it's going to be a nice little cylinder. I'm going to put a little bit of stuffing in there, just a bit. Shape it a bit. Okay, now make 3 more of these. Next is going to be the tail. So we're going to drawstring cast on as always, but we're going to start with the belly color. And we're going to do 1 row in just the belly color. Next, without cutting this color, we're going to tie on the body color. We're going to use the belly color to knit pegs 1 to 4. Go back and get the body color to knit pegs 8 to 5. 8, 7, 6, and 5. Did I do one too many? No. Okay. Just stuck. Okay. Next, you're going to take your body color, wrap it underneath the belly color, and bring it over. So that you're always knitting the belly color on the belly color and the body color on the body color. Wrap it under and around. And we're going to do this up to row 9. Okay, once you got your 9 rows, you should be back at the start here on peg 1. If not, just work your way over. 1 extra row is not going to make a difference. So now we're going to cut the body color. And tie it off. And then use the belly color to knit 1 row. Next we're going to do the drawstring cast off. So you're going to wrap it about 2.5 times. Need an extra long tail to sew it onto the body. Make sure you stretch your stitches. Stuff your tails inside. Pull the cast on tail. Nice and tight. There we go. Turn it inside out and make your knot. And we are going to give this just a little bit of stuffing. Okay. Next is going to be the antlers. Still on the 8-peg loom. So for the antlers, I chose a worsted weight yarn. This color. It is Heather. Okay. Oops. So as always, we're going to do a drawstring cast on. And we're going to knit U-wrap stitches for 12 rows. Okay, once you're done your 12 rows, wrap twice for a long tail and then do your drawstring cast off. Stretch your stitches. Tighten your cast on edge. Always tighten the cast on edge first. Gonna put a little bit of stuffing in here, not too much. So we want it to stay skinny. Okay, this is part of the antler. Next, you're going to cast on again. Always the drawstring cast on. And this time you're only going to do 5 rows. Okay, so you're going to do your drawstring cast off after your 5 rows. Wrap the loom twice to get a nice long tail, and then you're going to stretch your stitches very gently because this is very small. And then you're going to pull your cast on tail nice and tight. Make your knot. and then just stuff this with the cast on tail. And that's the second part of the antler. So make 2 sets of those, one big and one small. Alright, next we're going to move on to the 12 peg loom, and we're going to make the ears. So put on your slip knot, do your drawstring cast on, and now you're just going to U-wrap knit for 5 rows. Okay, once you got your 5 rows, do your drawstring cast off. Remember to wrap the loom twice to get a nice long tail. And what we're going to do is a little bit different. So you're going to start by stretching your stitches, as always. Find the cast on edge and pull that tight. Secure that in place. Next we're going to thread the cast off tail. Find where that sits, and you're going to fold it in half. You can stuff the cast on tail in there to make it nice and thick. And once it's folded in half, it's going to look like a little taco. And you're just going to sew it closed. Make sure you're catching both sides. Try to leave a nice point on one end. Okay, and there's your ear. I'll make a second one. Okay, next is the snout. So we're going to do the drawstring cast on, and then U-wrap knit for 7 rows. Okay, once you got your 7 rows done, you're going to drawstring cast off. Make sure you leave enough tail to sew it on, so wrap your loom twice, and then we're going to add the nose to this. So find the center. There we go. Now you're going to stuff the cast on tail in there. And again, just a little bit of stuffing. Probably not that much. That's going to be his snout. Now I believe the neck is the last piece. So you're going to do your drawstring cast on your 12 peg loom. Knit for 4 rows. Do your drawstring cast off. And I'll meet you back here. Okay, make sure that you wrap the loom twice as always for a nice long tail. We're going to stretch these stitches very gently because it's only 4 rows. And we're going to put maybe 2 or 3 fingers in here and tighten the cast on and the cast off at the same time to make it a good size neck. Say this is probably fine. Next up, assembly. Okay, we're going to start by adding the snout to the head. So thread your tail from the snout. Sew that all the way around. Okay, next is the ears. Alright, next is the antlers. We're going to sew the antlers together first. So take a long one and a short one. And we're going to add it just like this. So now they're going to look like this. And now you can go ahead and sew them onto the head. So now you should have something that looks like this. Next we're going to take the body and attach the neck. Catch me. So this is the front. And we're gonna go ahead and place the neck. You can stuff the cast on tail inside. And I like to use pins to keep bigger pieces in place. There we go. And now you can sew on the neck. Okay, once the neck is on, you're going to attach the head. So wherever your tail is coming from, it doesn't matter. Mine happens to be coming from the back. So you're just going to poke that through and send it down to the bottom. Like that. Now, I'm going to get some more pins. Okay. You can stuff the cast on and cast off tails from the neck inside of it. And just to give it a little bit more sturdiness, we're also going to put a little bit of stuffing in here. Just so that his neck isn't super floppy. Okay, don't forget to take any pins out. Make sure that you count them so you know how many to take out. I put in 4. I already got 1, so I have 3 left. Don't want to accidentally find a pin later down the road. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Next we're going to add the tail. Make sure you line up the belly color and the body color on both sides. And then you can start sewing. And to get a nice turned up tail, you see on this side, on the belly side, I'm just catching one of the bottom stitches. But when I come around here to the top side, I'm gonna grab a stitch from the body and then send this about halfway up. I'm gonna do that all the way around. Halfway doesn't seem to be doing it. I'm gonna go a little further. There we go. So pretty close to the top. Make sure you get these nice and tight. Now his tail turns up. Cute little white-tailed deer. Next we're going to do the legs. And we're going to do the same thing that we did with the tail, which is sew it a little further down the stitches on this side so that it doesn't stick out like this. Unless you want it to. Have them lying down. It's blue. So I'm just going to catch a stitch or two on this side. See how the leg sticks out? So now we're going to go about here. Oh, that's better already. See how that leg is nice and straight? Okay, and we're going to do that with all four legs. And here he is. His cute little tail. Antlers. Thanks for watching.